Hiya and welcome to Josef's Model Railway and Toy Room. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. Just a little bit of housekeeping. You don't need to like, follow, or subscribe to any of the videos I put out there. I just put them out there where I can, and I have a holly jolly great time doing so. So I'd like to welcome you back now to this ongoing project we're doing about adding a model railway, a model railroad, or a train set to your model railway, train set, or model railroad, whichever way you want to look at it. So we have a beautiful model railway, it's 00 scale, and we're obviously imposing on a scene a little garden railway for the figures to be riding around on. Static, of course, if we haven't already picked up on that. Let's get straight into it, shall we? We just had done some static grass, and let's see where we get to on this video, shall we?
Just a quick recap on what we got up to in the last video. We finally laid that track down, and then we got around to applying just a little bit of a static grass to the key areas, and that's pretty much where we've left it off for the moment. We left it drying at that point and everything was looking quite good. So let's pick up where we left off now. We need to start to think about doing a spot of gardening. Speaking of a spot of gardening, check out these magnificent gardens. These will be found in South Australia, in Adelaide, North Adelaide to be precise, and certainly these images from the 80s with the beautiful garden, and they had a clock that was there in the ground. I always thought that was really, really good. It's still there today. I don't think we're going to quite have enough room to squeeze it in, but I always like how people sort of take pride in creating some beautiful gardens for people to share. And also, this is the TADA Gardens in Whyalla, South Australia. And I just want to pay attention to these particular shady trees. Beautiful on a hot day, the gnarly bark at the bottom. I don't have any close-ups on that, unfortunately. But you get the idea. Really, what I love about these big type of green trees is framing the scene up, which is what we're doing. In fact, in Maryborough, Queensland, just driving down the street, you can see these big ones in the background. These big pine ones really do create an excellent scene. So that's basically what we're trying to frame off here in the feature section that we're building at the moment. We're going to use those nice big trees in the background. Let's see how we go. And of course, still in Whyalla with these gardens, the paths that have now been paved as opposed to the old bitumen that used to be there. And we're paying attention here to the edges. We want to create a little bit of interest to the edges. It doesn't get any simpler to starting a scene like this with my favorite color. But I thought we're going to just do something a little interesting. I thought I'd just do a quick product selection of what I'm going to be using to get this scene done. Let's dive in and check out what we've got. It could be a snoozer for some of you. I picked this knock kit up. It's 14022. I thought we might be able to put this on either side of the path and maybe some of these pots on either side. It'd actually be good on faulty towers. So I think that's a really good kit that's worth checking out that we can use in our favour. This is knock 16504. So basically it looks like some sort of like a ice cream vendor or something like that. He's actually holding a nice ice cream in his hand. I quite like this. However, I ended up also getting this Artitech one. I think it was probably because of the child and mother there just going down, and I like the pose he's in handing it out. I'm really not too sure, but I thought they look kind of good on a path somewhere. The scene where we've put that little kind of embankment situation or retaining wall, I wanted to use one of these chaps with the whippersnipper. I really think that's good detail, a council or maintenance worker. And we'll put a tuft in so it looks like he's just keeping the line trimmed up and cleaned. So I thought we need to try and add that. Now I think we're going to have too many figures on the scene, but let's see how we go. This is knock 15064. Knock 15478. We already actually have this kit at the moment, because if you go back to the war memorial, you'll notice the child and the mother. I'm pretty sure this was the same one. Again, I'm just looking for some children in this one and just general sort of people to watch the train go by or give it a wave or something like that. So that's why we have this one. Knock 15592. Again, children happy, looking around, the one sitting up on the shoulders here. I think this is an absolutely fantastic one to have for this particular scene. So again, we've got too many people, but we'll make it work. I picked these nifty little N scale signals up. They come from Japan, actually. I really think these are going to be just what we need to add along the line side there. I think these will be just absolutely perfect. They're not illuminated, it's pure static, but I think this is exactly what we're going to need to add a little bit of interest on that line. I think I may even use both. I'll use one up near where our point is, or turnout, and the other one just down on the far end, because maybe there's another one coming up at the other end, who knows. This is Whyalla 151643. Again, too many people, but in this position, I'm looking for the ones that are sort of sitting down that could be on or around or riding the train or in that sort of pose. So that's why we've got them. Someone with a bit of a fork, maybe gardening again. He should be in his high vis if it's a council thing. I'm not really too sure. See what happens. Whyalla 181272. Some flowers, but these ones are sort of sticking up and raised, and I just thought that could kind of be a good way to go in those featured garden beds. Maybe we should still find room to put a clock in there, as we discussed from the clock that's featured in North Adelaide. See what happens there, but I like how they're sticking up. They're pre-made, ready to go. We could just put them down. Prior to those Whyalla ones that I discovered, I did pick up some of these. These are obviously off of, I can't tell you actually, eBay, Etsy, Aliexpress. Oh, honestly, I really can't remember. I like the idea of these to frame in somewhere or down the edges of the path or something. I got a few different colors. I did have a plan for these, and truthfully now I have no idea what that plan was. They're not too bad. I like the fact that they're pre-greened up or something. I think that's why I was going to put them down the edges or something. We'll leave them to the side for the minute because I'm really not too sure how we're going to garden all this together. So this is one of the wagons that came with the kit, and even though it's maybe not one that people sit in, I thought it would be okay. So this was from our Bush Feldbahn set, N8071. Again, it comes with all the track work to make the oval and all the rest of it, which is what we've used. And it comes with these types of wagons. There's nothing wrong with that wagon. I'm sure we can put some people in and have a little bit of fun. There's another wagon here. Here's the little locomotive, which sort of ticks the sort of scene of what we're looking for by the time we come in with an actual HO-sized figure. This seems plausible. So I think we've got a nice little set. However, later on I did notice this set, which is the Gartenbahn HO79828. So it's pretty much the same, but not. And what I was more interested in is this, which I thought we could put on that little section of line where the point's gone, looking like there's another locomotive that's been running. Let's just get it out the box, shall we? It's the same track and point configuration. I think there's a little less of it, but I think you still get enough to create the oval. Surely you would. Anyway, we're just interested in what's inside this. So, look, I want to say it was a little bit on the pricey side just to buy the kit when all I needed was this. But I'm going to stand by my decision. We get a nice little person who's already in the pose. We're going to need that. And here is one of these little, as opposed to this one, which we can put people in and make it work. But here's one of these type of ride-on coaches that they pull behind them. So I think that's going to look absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to put this little ensemble together. I'll probably put a little child or something up, gets to ride in the front. We'll figure that one out. The police box, the Scaledale one. And for some of you looking, that looks a lot like the one from Doctor Who. Yes, I don't know how and where, but I had a lot of trouble getting one of these. Someone did try to scam me, but I did manage to end up finding one. I'm very happy. And it's the type of thing we can randomly move across the layout as needed. But I think we're going to find a spot for it on this one. Well, it's back to the cycling on this one. Since it comes down off of a multi-use trail, there's some ladies here with their bikes that we're going to pose at the bottom near the crossing like they're waiting to go or waiting for someone to catch up. This one is particularly quite eye-catching, is the word. We'll keep neutral there. So I want to create a scene with that one, which would then, they'd be waiting down the bottom for their friend or something And another one that'll be bolting down the hill in motion. I really think this is some excellent detail. This was from one of those sites like an Etsy or, well, I don't know, whoever make all these little custom details. So we're going to create a little bit of a story with that. Right, let's get stuck into it now. So what we're basically doing here is just taking those little signals that we had and finding a little home for them, little drop of glue. Let's get them sitting in pretty much the right spot. We're just going to take another tree to see if what I want to fit with the flowers is actually going to happen. And then we're going to start putting some flowers into the flower beds, as you can see me go there at a rocketing pace. Of course, this has been time-lapsed, and it does take quite a bit longer than that. As we carry on with the scene now, we're just going to add in a few little extra details. You notice we've got the figure down with the whippersnippering now, or brush cutting, whatever you like to call it, line trimming. We've got the bin in place now. Now we're just going to pop the trees in to make sure we've got room for everything else to fit, because I did want to add those fences. So we're going to put the fences in now. So out comes the module. This is all a bit of a hodgy-podgy as we get on at the moment, but it sort of will disguise the join of the two bits where they meet together and makes it a bit plausible. Just toward the right-hand side of the screen, as we work our way up here, things got a bit gnarly. The simple fact is I did just follow the exact edge along. That way I know the module will come in and out. But if you look at where that coach is sitting at the moment, we are probably about 2 to 3 meters, a little bit too close. We make it with clearance, but it does come at that. We may need to trim that or push that back accordingly. I think we can undo that leg, but we did have to also use a drop of the Gorilla Super Quick Set glue to get it to hold and grab properly. And of course, it was always going to be a bit of a bend and a movement, but to hide some of those, because we're obviously going up and it's a little bit of an irregular surface, so to hide some of where the fence posts may have needed to have been a little higher, we've just taken a series of tufts and we've just literally put them in place. But as the glue dried, it seems to be sitting reasonably nicely. So that's where we're at the moment. Let's leave this one for a few days and come back and see where we're at later. Smells terrible in here. I think it's actually this tree. This has been a few days since we've put this fence down and let the glue dry. You saw I just used some tufts where the fence posts were because there's some irregularities. Well, what I'd like to do now, if we can, moving on, is put the module back in. And while it's tempting to start getting the trees into place, I want to check the wiring. So we're going to now start the wiring, because that way if there's a problem, we can quickly go upside down and correct it rather than with the trees in place. So as we're going to bring the module back in, I think we've created something here. I don't know if I like it or not. I've still got to clean it up a bit, but it's looking reasonable. Let's see though, first of all, if it will fit back in after having that fencing, and that is a particularly tight fit, as I always thought it would be, but I followed the contour of the land, so a little push, it may bump and move, but yes, look, it does go in. And this module isn't going to be coming out on a regular basis, but let's leave it here. And the focus now is we're going to get the wiring pre-done for this at the bottom. Then we'll take it back out. Trees, let's get on with it. Welcome under the board now, and this particular lead I'm holding with the 2 knots in it represents the lamp posts, and the other ones, because I didn't have a lot of reach at the time, are going to be for the signal crossing, which we'll put the controller somewhere. But let's come under the board and appreciate what we've got. Very handy just where we are as an accessory thing, so we'll just tap straight out to that for the railroad crossing. And if we step back to the next module, conveniently there are actually 2 light hubs here. One is for the actual pedestrian railway crossing lights on the main line, and also one's going over to our bowling alley, if I'm not mistaken, and also to the lamp posts up at Faulty Towers. And I can't remember what the other one is doing. Oh, maybe for the substation or something.
but there's going to be more to do with faulty towers, which is why I've left this one deliberately empty. So what we might do is leave it empty, and since we're coming on the other side, we've got the accessory thing. I'll just put one more lighting hub here, and it's going to seem a bit crazy because it's only going to be doing one thing, which will be those 2 lamp posts. But if we need additional support for faulty towers, well, ta-da, there's the access tunnel to go straight up to it. So either way, I think we'll just put it here will be the best way to go. Well, thanks for joining me now in opening what would be possibly the last ever light hub we'll need to install on the layout. I'm still a little curious because I've left so many ones empty for expansion, but we may still need one more down the track depending on what we do on 2 other bits of scenery I can't figure out, but this may well be it, bringing us to the grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and finally now, number 21. Okay. No stranger to these whatsoever. Backing tape. And our screws. Well, let's go grab our spirit level and get this one on, shall we? Okay, that looks quite good. Let's get some power over to it. Okay, as you can see, we've just tapped the power straight out for the controller to our signal lights. I'll clean these up in a minute. We're just going to see if it's going to work. And the other lead coming around the corner for the lamp posts, which we'll affix on later. Let's check out if this thing is going to work. Over here to the accessory switch. Let's jump on up and have a look. Ah, yes, and don't hit your head. Oh, yes, I'll give this a pass. Wow, those lights are exceptionally bright. The crossing ones I'm referring to, I mean, look at the glow that's coming down on that. Let's turn off the flash now and you can really get a sense of the red light disco that is happening here. I'm not too worried because for the most part, the layout doesn't always have accessory lights on. It's just if I want to recreate an evening scene. So I'm really not too worried about that at all. I think it looks good.
No, it doesn't. So I jump back and drop an email to the manufacturer. I'm still waiting for a response on what to do.
Oh, look. We've managed to get them tuned down quite a lot now. And it's a really simple fix. Let me show you what we did. Let's dive under the board now and have a look. Now you're all expecting I used a resistor or one of those resistor boards from DCC Concepts with the illuminated buffers. No, I just went straight into a light hub and I just turned it up to the brightness I needed. I mean, I just had to use my brain for a second and said if this works on a 9-volt battery or the 12-volt accessories feed, then it wouldn't really matter. We've got the resistor in so I can control how bright I want it. And sure enough, if I turn the switch up, you'll see those lights get quite bright, or we can turn them right down and barely make them glow at all. So I think it's a lovely way to go about it. And once again, Woodland Scenics Light Hubs. They just work, worth every penny. And just really quickly as we've finished doing this now, you'll see that all 3 cords come down. We've just marked those 2 out there for the park rail crossing, and of course just park lamps here, so park lamps straight into one. And number 2 here on the controller just travels straight out and then taps into the board that's going to make them flash. So you can see that's all I've just done, wire it straight in, and you can adjust the pot here to decide if you want it to flash faster or slower, and then we've just got them wired out accordingly. So I think this turned out quite nicely at the moment. For those of you with a keen eye saying, hey, you didn't secure these floodlights out here for faulty towers, that's true, because this module still needs to move in and out a bit. So once we're finally finished with the hotel in its place, then we'll tidy that up. There's quite a bit more wiring that needs to happen with the hotel. Right, let's get these trees in, shall we?
Whoa, hey, that's the 20-minute mark. We better wrap this one up. I'll see you in that next one, hey?
Lights, camera, action. Oh, Joseph, you are an absolute stinker. Yes, you all thought I might be getting to the end on this particular video, but let's be fair. We did get that line-side fencing down, which while it's not quite exactly how I'd probably like it to be and see it in the real life, we're trying to squeeze in as much detail as we can into that kind of compressed area. And most importantly, well, I don't have a lot of actual line-side fencing around the layout as it is. There's the bit near the station, which really I'm very happy with how that's all shaping up nicely there. We obviously have some around our cricket oval, but not actually trackside. That's more just to do with the oval itself. So I don't have a lot of fencing. So I think it's nice to break the scenery up and see something like that. And of course, I was not anticipating that little challenge there with the railway crossing lights, being so bright. Again, when we originally built and tested them, I was just dipping it on that 9-volt battery, which meant they were a little bit dimmer, and I thought, perfect. And of course, once I put them on the 12-volt, bing, it got quite bright. But thanks to that Woodland Scenics Lighting Hub solution, means you can just dim it basically down accordingly, and I must be down somewhere toward that kind of reducing it down to a 9-volt or thereabout kind of output. So really happy with how it's going. So yes, the final touch is really to the garden, the figures down, trees in, we'll frame it off and get those final shots. That's all going to be in the next one. Thank you so much as always for joining me. Please do stay safe, girls and boys, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you in the next one. Toodles!